to another video, and if you're new here, my name is Mercedes, and subscribe to my channel. I do story times just like this one, vlogs and advice. So y'all, let's just get right into it because this is the craziest story ever, like that I've probably ever told on this channel. Where do I even start? So basically my roommate now, Amanda, who I live with, we were looking for a place. We decided we wanted to move in with each other and like just save some money, you know. We were also looking around Etobicoke, Toronto, around that area. So usually for me, I lived on my own before, and I usually look on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace for like the places that I'm visiting, and I'll go and check it out, meet the landlord and stuff like that. And I've always had like a smooth ride, so I never had any suspicions of Kijiji unless like they're like making weird comments on the ad itself, right? So me and Amanda were looking at places through Kijiji, and we just kept seeing places that were just like unkept. Like there was like cigarette butts all over the floor at one apartment that we went to, and it was just like disgusting, weird layouts for the apartments and stuff like that. And me and her had deal breakers, and like a lot of the places we saw was just not even close to what we would even want, and we didn't want to sell either. It's crazy because Amanda had to move out of her place within 4 weeks because just because her landlord was selling the house, so she had to go. And I also wanted to move in before the summer ended, so we were more on a time crunch than anything. So I sent Amanda the listing for the place. It was like a really beautiful gray wood, white walls, and it was fully furnished, which we did not need, but we did need a couch and like a coffee table and like little things like that. So it used to be an Airbnb apparently, and he's now converting it into like a rentable space with like obviously contracts and whatever. So he was like, oh, y'all can keep the furniture in the ad and you can move in immediately. And we're like, oh, perfect, because we need to move in immediately. So it was like perfect for us, and we're like, hey, as long as the place is nice, we'll take it, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, we're ready. The only problem was I was working that Sunday, so I couldn't go and view the place, but Amanda wasn't, so she went. So day on Sunday comes and I'm working, and Lord Jesus, and she FaceTimes me during my break, so I see the place and I'm like, oh, it looks real nice. There was a real estate agent on the property as well.
Working as soon as possible.
Good. Making sure that like I guess everybody had their questions answered or whatever. And from what Amanda told me, there was like at least 30 or 40 people viewing this apartment. So I was like, oh wow, like a lot of people have seen the ad, they really like it, you know what I mean? Like, so we were also more like moving with more urgency because we're like, oh shoot, there's so many people who saw it, like we want to get this place. It looks perfect and it's furnished too, so there's a lot of things we didn't need, but like still it would be nice to keep some things, or like, you know, we can be like, oh, we don't want this or we want this, whatever. And Wi-Fi was included. It was such a good deal, like, but I never thought, oh, this is too good to be true, you know? So we get there, or she got there, she's FaceTime me, I'm seeing all the rooms, I'm like, it's perfect, let's get it, I'm great, yeah, the price was great too. And so she went up to the real estate agent. She's like, oh, so how do I get in contact with the landlord, because he was not there, something to keep an eye on. He was not there. So she's like, okay, you just need to message him through the same number that you were communicating him by and tell him that you want the place. So she's like, okay, cool. No issues, there was no suspicions, nothing. So we end up, by the time I think I ended at work, we contacted him. We're like, hey, we want the place or whatever. He's like, I bet. He was professional. He did sound a little like sketchy, like his voice sounded like raspy, like he smokes a lot of cigarettes, but that was the only thing that was alarming. Everything seemed like normal. Like there's nothing that I would be like, I'm suspicious of this. He even sent us the documents that you get from the actual website from what's called Residential Ontario. You know, the actual documents you get for a lease agreement when it's legit. He actually sent us that copy, and so we looked through it. We're like, okay, everything's good, blah blah blah, and so we looked through it. Everything was great. He just said, I need your ID, and then I'm gonna need first and last, right, to secure the spot or whatever. So we're like, okay, cool. So we ended up sending him our ID. We signed the lease agreement that night, and then I just didn't feel comfortable without meeting him or without being, because I myself haven't went on the property, so I just did kind of feel a little weird about it. So I was like, maybe it was just my intuition telling me. I was just like, okay, like because we haven't like moved in or yet, we haven't moved in yet, can we just give you first, and then the day we move in we'll give you last? And he was like, okay, sure. So when he said okay, sure, it made me feel more at ease, because he's not like urgent for money, you know what I mean? Because I also, the back of my head was like, you know, we are moving fast, but I was also looking for anything alarming. So if he had said no, send me everything, then I would have been like, nah, like what's going on, like, you know what I mean? But he was like, oh yeah, sure, you can send me there first, no problem. And then on the first, when you move in, you can send me last. So I was like, alright, cool, you know, sent him the money. We sent him.
Oh my god.
And for privacy reasons, I'm not gonna tell you how much we sent him, but just imagine how much your rent would be for a 2-bedroom apartment split between 2 people. So anyways, anywho, so we got all excited. He's like, oh, I was like, can we also get the keys on Thursday? Because mind you, again, I haven't seen the place. So we're like, can we get the keys possibly next week or this week, so we can maybe move some small stuff in before the day? He's like, alright, cool, that's cool. And he was super chill about it. I was like, okay, cool, like, you know what I mean? That was Sunday, mind you. Monday rolls around, and me and Amanda are at her house, and we're just chilling, and she gets like a phone call from her bank, right? And her bank is like, oh, we just want to let you know that there's some suspicious activity with your account, because you just recently sent some money to somebody last night and their account is empty and they live in Montreal. The way my heart jumped, because I knew immediately what they were talking about, because I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. So I'm about to freak out. I immediately call the guy. I forgot his name, and I'm putting everybody's name and pictures on blast on this video. Trust me, I do not care. His name was David, I'm pretty sure. It was a David. Daniel or David. I'll put a correction here somewhere because I can't remember. But it was either Daniel or David. And that's what he went by. That's obviously not his real name, but that's what we called him. So I called Daniel immediately. Mind you, Amanda is still not off the phone with her bank, because I'm like, we about to figure out what the hell this is in 2.5 seconds, because it's not happening. So call him, he answers. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so I'm starting to a little calm down, because if you got our money, he would have just dipped by now, you know what I mean? So he answers the phone. I'm telling him, I'm like, okay, so we just got a call from Amanda's bank, and they said that you live in Montreal and your account's empty. What's that all about? And he's like, oh yeah, I do live in Montreal. That's why I wasn't there at the property, and I had a real estate agent there. And I'm like, oh, I mean, that does make sense. And he's like, yeah, so, or he's like, he used to live in Montreal or something like that. And so we're like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, as of the empty account, I'm not sure what they're talking about, but let me call my bank and see what's going on, because that's really weird. And he responded normally and like not suspiciously, and he answered the phone. So we were like, oh, we kind of calmed down after that, because we're like, maybe this is a misunderstanding. Maybe, I don't know, he had a separate account, he didn't realize that he put it in that account. I don't know, whatever. She gets off the phone with the bank, and she's like, yeah, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And so I start getting like a little scared, because I'm like, actually, let's get these keys like today, because I just want to know I have this place. And once I have the keys in my hand, no, like nothing is gonna scare me, and nothing's gonna make me feel weird. So Amanda has a friend, she's also a real estate agent, who was helping us at the beginning, like really the beginning of us looking for a place, but it just didn't work out with her. And we had told her about it, and she's like, oh, let me see if I can talk to the guy then, because let me look up who the owner of this place is. So we gave her the information. We sent her the lease agreement with all his like signature and everything, and she looked up the property name, and it was not the same name on the lease agreement. Yeah. So we start freaking out now. So she's like, let me see if I can call this Daniel guy, and let me talk to him, because maybe he is renting this place, and then he renting it out, but he's already renting it, like subletting it. I don't know what you call it, but subletting it. So we were just trying to figure out like rational scenarios, because he did answer, he's being cooperative. So we're like trying to figure out what's going on. So I end up calling him, he answers again. I'm like, okay, that's great. Like he's not scared. Like, you know, he's trying to cooperate with us. So he answers. I'm like, hey, we have my friend's real estate agent on the phone. She just want to ask you a few questions. Oh, and then he goes, oh, okay, no problem. And then he says, hold on, and he hangs up. That's where I was like, oh hell no, like you're not about to play with me right now. He hangs up, and I'm like, what the hell? Call him right back, he doesn't answer. I called him like 13 times, did not answer. Now we started freaking out. It was like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a scam. This is a scam. And I'm, what? Like, yo, we just sent him the money last night. Like, bro, this is not a game. And mind you, again, we need to move out ASAP. And now we're out of our first money that we would have given an apartment if it was legit. So, but then I couldn't wrap my head around it because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. You went to the house, right, Amanda? She's like, yeah, I went to the house. I stepped in. There was a real estate agent there. I'm like, so how could he scam us? Like, we easily are gonna find his shit, because if he's just renting the place and somebody else is owning it, then we're gonna find him and then find him, and then it's a wrap. So it's like, it's easy to contact him or get a hold of him. If he's renting this place, whoever he's renting it from, he's gonna get in trouble because we're gonna contact this owner now. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I was like, we good, we're gonna catch him. Like, you know what I mean? It felt like that. So then, I remembered that this place used to be an Airbnb. So we're like, okay, so I started putting my thinker cap on, because I used to take journalism, guys. I think you guys know this. A lot of my old viewers know I used to take journalism. And so I'm like, it used to be an Airbnb, so maybe Airbnb, because we couldn't find the contact number for the owner. So I was like, okay, if it used to be an Airbnb, maybe we can try to find the owner on the Airbnb listing if it is Airbnb, right? Or whatever. Maybe we can figure it out. So I just looked anyways. I found it. I found the place on Airbnb. Child, the name was like David. That was the name of the person who listed the apartment. So like, obviously, and it was the same name. I think Daniel was the guy who scammed us and David was the one who owned the property. So we're like, oh, perfect. It does match the name of the property owner. So we try to contact him on Airbnb, but it's hard because if you didn't book his apartment, then it's kind of hard to get a hold of him. But we just tried anyways. So I messaged him, even the real estate agent messaged him as well, and we didn't hear anything back in those couple hours. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna have to sit and wait. I was not having it. I was calling that guy down. I was calling Daniel down, because I'm like, you gonna answer this call, like, and I'm gonna keep harassing you until you answer this phone call. Then he texts us, hold on. I'm like, hey bro, but why did you hang up in the first place? So we're just confused, because it's like he's cooperating but he's not, and it's like he's not completely being sketchy, but he's kind of being sketchy, you know what I mean? So to make a long story short, by the end of that day, we did not get a hold of the owner yet, and we kind of we basically were coming to terms with the fact that we got scammed. And it was hard because we were sitting there like, okay, we got scammed and now we don't have our first. So we had to like really think about what our next steps were going to be, because it was just really hard. We couldn't even go look for places right now because now we don't have the money to pay rent. It was just a lot. And so we got on the phone with our banks right away to see if we can get our money back immediately. And whatnot. So we were in the process. Both of our banks started an investigation to see if they can retrieve back the money for us. So before we went to bed that night, I kept looking. I was like, I am not going to just accept this. Like, I'm gonna try to find this guy. Like, I need to find this guy. Like, because when people do me like that, I can't let it go. So I ended up looking at Airbnb to see Sunday, right? And I'm like, but if it was his property, like, how the hell did he get on the property? And then I looked at the reviews on Airbnb, and and Sunday was booked. So that's the Sunday that Amanda went to go see the place. That Sunday was booked. So I was like, if that Sunday was booked, and I'm thinking, I'm like, if that Sunday was booked, how the hell he get the apartment? And I was like, oh my gosh, he booked the Airbnb and pretended to be the owner. I was like, there's no way. Because what? And I'm thinking about how many people were at this listing. Amanda said it was 30 or 40 people. And I'm like, wait, how did he get away with this? He booked, so like a normal person booking an Airbnb, you have an Airbnb, and instead of throwing a party, you throwing like a list, like you throwing like an open house to this place. Bro, the way I gagged, I was like, there's no way. Like, this is, it was, for me, I was like, wow, that freaking a-hole. But I was like, that is actually genius. You never think that someone can do that, because it's like, you are on the property, you would assume they own the property if they're letting you in the house. Like, but I didn't know. So I was like up all night trying to find any evidence I could, and that's all I found that night. The next morning, me and Amanda were talking. We're like, we're gonna go to the police and try to file a police report to see, you know, if they could help us investigate and look for this person. But the great thing is we did find, the owner of the apartment did actually message us back on Airbnb. So, oh, I also left something out. So, also, when I was looking at the reviews, I seen that the owner was upset with the last person who booked on Sunday and was like, fraudulent fraud. Like I clicked the person who booked on Sunday and it was this guy. That's a picture of him. And he, it says on the review, like, you know, like Airbnb owners can make a review of the person. And they made a review of this person who booked Sunday and they said fraudulent. So that's when I was like, so the next day we were like, okay, we're gonna go to the police officers and make a report, maybe they could help us. But then we got a message from the actual owner and he was like, I'm so sorry, like, yeah, like he scammed everyone and I know what's going on. And so I was like, okay, we couldn't really message him because again, Airbnb is really weird with people messaging when they haven't booked anything. So I gave him my number. I said, call me as soon as possible, as soon as possible, so we can figure this out, because this is your property, bro. Like, he is messing things up for you if this is your property. I ended up, later that day, he ended up contacting me. I wasn't with Amanda at the time, but he ended up contacting me, and I was like, hi, and he's like, hey. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? And he's like, basically what I thought, that, okay, he's like, yeah, some guy booked the Airbnb for Sunday and had a whole open house at my apartment and pretended to be the owner and impersonated to be the owner. And I told him, I was like, you know, there was a real estate agent there. Like, that's the crazy part. And he's like, yeah, apparently that was just one of his friends or one of the scammers as well, just pretending to be a real estate agent. She's not a real one. Mind you, I got a picture of this of this bee. Okay, I'm not gonna swear, but I got a picture of this little brunt. This is the picture of her. So if anybody has seen her, has seen this person, I know it's kind of blurry, but if anybody has seen her, message me. She got some money to owe me, and I'll explain why we have her photo. So I'm talking to him, and he's like, yeah, she was there. And so I remember that, like, what's it called? So then I'm like, oh yeah, like Amanda did see her, what she physically looked like, right? So maybe we can kind of figure out what she looks like and kind of get her or find her before we find this guy, because we never actually met this guy yet. So he was telling me basically like, yeah, that happened, and I got footage of her in the front of my house, walking into my house and walking out, because they have cameras in the front. And I was like, oh my gosh, can you please send it to me so we can send it to the police officers? He's like, absolutely. And he's like, also, there's like a few other people who got scammed as well. I'm like, of course, because there was like 30 to 40 people there. So yeah, we hang up. We obviously come to the conclusion that, you know, he was also played too, and that we're both victims in this. And he said he was going to keep me updated with anything that is happening. And he was also going to send his number to the other people who got scammed as well. So later that day, he sends me footage. He sends me a photo, all the evidence he could show me. And the great thing is, he also showed me, there was another girl obviously who was there, was viewing the place, and she made a whole video. And she didn't get the girl's face, but she got her voice and like what she was wearing and stuff like that. So at least we can try to like narrow it down or whatever. So that another person ended up messaging me and sending me all these pictures, and he ended up sending me the photo and everything like that. So I will show you guys that right now.
As soon as possible.
Good.
yeah, so that's all the evidence and stuff that we had collected. And it was great because now we can go and tell the police officers, and that like at least they have something to work with. Like we have a photo of this scammer, at least the woman who helped him. Like, what are you doing? And the fact is, like, apparently she was wearing a mask too, like when she was at the apartment, so no one really could see her face, but we got her on camera. So again, if anybody knows who this person is, let me know, because she's a full-time scammer. And the problem is, y'all don't understand when it comes to these type of situations is people actually move out of their houses and expect to have a wonderful place to go into. I don't know if there was anybody who paid the full fee and packed up their stuff and thought they were moving into a beautiful home that day and ended up homeless that day. And that's the most important thing that we need to focus on, is people that are actually moving out of their house. Because we found out before we could move out, we would have packed our stuff up and we would have never known until that day. So I'm glad that it happened before, you know, we packed up and left. But anyways, y'all, the story continues. It gets even worse, y'all. So I ended up talking to one of the other girls who sent the money, and she sent first and last cash. So it's hard to kind of like talk to your bank and be like, hey, like, can you help me out? Poor girl. To this day, I don't think she ever got her money back, and I feel so bad for her. But the thing is, that girl met the scammer, the girl, I don't even know her name. We'll just call her Clown Gal, because she's a clown gal. She met Clown Gal at Ryerson at this university, at Ryerson University, and they sat down for about 2 hours while she was talking to the girl. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, like we sat down for 2 hours and she was telling about her life and I was telling her about mine, because we were just meeting. I wanted to meet her in person to give her the money, and I'm like, that's crazy. She's like, yeah. And she even met my mom and my sister because they came with me when I went to give her the money. I'm like, that's so trifling, to sit there and chat with somebody knowing that you're going to take all their money and you're going to leave them possibly homeless, because you know how much money you have to save for an apartment? It doesn't just come out of nowhere. So we just kind of asked her details on what she looked like and maybe what name she goes by. So she said she goes by Cece to this girl. I don't know. That's probably not even her name, but apparently her name was Cece. I guess that's her scammer name. Anyways, so we talked to her, and then we talked to another girl who never met her in person but almost sent the money, but she did not send the money. So we talked to a few other people, and they kind of had the same stories. We were just trying to collect as much evidence as we could. So child, anyways, Amanda's bank calls her back and said that we can possibly get the money. We will message you back in a couple hours, or we'll call you back in a couple hours to let you know if it could possibly be done. So we're happy, like, okay, Amanda might get her money back, whatever. My bank also called me that following day and said the same thing. So we're like, okay, cool, like, let's just cross our fingers and hope that we get our money back and all is good, but we still want to take down these scammers, you know? So I also do some investigation again, and I go online because I'm like, I can find you. I feel like I can find you. You're gonna leave a trace somewhere. You're stupid, right? So I look at the email that we sent the money to. I look up that email to see if it traces anywhere else. And then I looked into the photo that the scammer used for his Airbnb picture. It was a black man, and to be honest, I'm not gonna assume that this is a black person. I'm gonna assume that they're dumb enough to use a black person, because they're typically, I guess society would expect a black person to do this or something. So I just didn't feel like, obviously he didn't use his own picture, right? But child, so I looked, okay? I looked into this photo that he used, and I tried to look for the source. So if you guys know, if you guys don't know, and I know, when there's a photo online, you could trace it back to where it originally came from. All you have to do is look into info on that photo, and you can find where the source came from. So that's what I did. I copied and pasted the picture, and I went to sources, and I found info, and I looked at the original, like where it came from. And then I think, what's it called? I ended up looking for the image. I ended up putting the image in Google, and it traced it back to like a photographer. The photo looked like professional, right? So I'm like, of course it'll be photography. So, but which photographer is this, and what model is this? Because at the end of the day, this person is not probably the one who scammed us. But they're in trouble too, because these scammers are using his face, which is gonna get him in trouble. If, say, somebody does think that, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna get him in trouble. Like, why would you want to use my face as a scam? Like, so anyways, I find the photographer, and I eventually find the photographer. I find the model that was in the photo. I find his Instagram. So I went on my Finsta. I have a Finsta, y'all. I went on my Finsta because I'm not sure who this person is exactly. I don't want to message them yet. I need to see what's going on and see if I need to just watch their page to see if there's anything suspicious. And so I went on his page, and strange enough, every photo he was traveling somewhere new. He had like a rollie, he had designer this, designer that, da 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 da. He's in Dubai, he's in Africa, he's in Paris, he's in here. And I'm like, this guy look like he got a lot of money. So I'm like, that's really interesting. So then I'm like, and I know there's a lot of African scammers out there. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't want to be stereotypical, but apparently there's a lot of African scammers, and he was African, so I was like, Then I looked into his page even more, and I seen his highlights, and one of his highlights said, what did it say? It said, I got scammed from an apartment or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? So I go through the whole story, okay? And apparently he wanted to move to LA. He saw this ad on Kijiji, or Facebook Marketplace. Beautiful, very similar to the apartment that we wanted, that we got scammed from. And he went to go look at the apartment, but the person was like, oh, if you want it, send me the money and then you can have the place. But he's like, I at least want to look at the place first. Like, what the heck? These are the screenshots he sent, and I will show y'all everything.
Tag team off the rope.
There we go.
You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body.
Ooh wee!
What?
You see that booty?
I did not.
Oh man, that's
My eyes are on the road.
okay. Mine was on that booty.
Bodega. Just go to the bodega. Sir. Sir. Alright, this unit 6. I'm supposed to be viewing this. Ain't nothing there.
Ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I care for you still, and I will forever.
I'm like, that's so interesting that you got scammed as well, but he obviously didn't give no money, but it's like he got tricked as well into something. So it's really odd that your picture was being used for scam, yet you got scammed yourself as well. So I found that really interesting. So I sat on it and I thought about it. I'm like, could he possibly be the scammer? Or maybe he got scammed and became friends with the scammer, and then he's like, oh bro, let's work together. I don't know, but it was just too much of a coincidence to just let it go. Because if, you know, I found his page and he was a normal kid and doing regular stuff, I would have just probably ignored it. But you got so much money, you don't post what you do. You don't say, oh, I'm a lawyer or doctor in your bio. You're not displaying what kind of occupation you have. Yet you're traveling and you have so much money, you got designer everything. Very odd. So I sat on it. Our banks called us back and they said that they're gonna give us some money, which is like awesome. And like, I'm just so forever grateful that happened, because like, that would have been crazy, you know what I mean? So we were able to continue looking for places, and we were just a little bit more cautious this time. And we definitely got our friend, Amanda's friend, who's a real estate agent, to just check the name of the properties now going forward, so that this wasn't gonna happen again. But y'all, to finish off the story, basically, I did message that guy. I messaged him, I think I messaged him on my Finsta. And I told him, hey, like, these people are using your photo as a scam. Like, I just wanted to see what he was gonna say. You know what I mean? And because I wasn't his friend on Instagram, it wasn't really gonna go through. So I ended up messaging him on a photo and saying, hey, check your DM. Like, there's a scam going on. They're using your photo. That should be alarming to somebody, and they should want to check that out. No. I checked back in about maybe a couple hours to see if he responded to me. He blocked me. So, I know you guys remember my story times and how they used to be. This story time is more for vengeance and to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. And yeah, so if you guys know who this guy is, and maybe he might be an innocent bystander, but I'm damn sure if someone messages you about, oh hey, your face is being used, I was trying to help you out, you wouldn't block them. That wouldn't be your first response, is to block them. Even if you think it's spam. He did not even look into the convo, he just blocked me off of that comment. So if anybody knows who this guy is, come talk to me. Alright, but that basically concludes my story time. I don't know if I left out anything else. We did check in with everybody else to make sure, and I talked to the owner. Me and the owner are like Instagram friends now. We cool, we like friends, because like I kind of helped him out and to figure out certain stuff. And yeah, it was unfortunate because the place was so nice, but it worked out for the best, and we ended up finding a beautiful apartment in Toronto. And I really feel like that situation did lead us to this apartment, so it worked out for the best. But this is just a reminder, and my story times before, when I started this channel, were always about learning off of my mistakes so that you could do better for yourself. And that's the only reason why I do these story times. Or I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm bringing it back, because it did create a lot of drama, but there's gonna be more of a purpose to why I'm saying what I'm saying. And yeah, y'all, thank you for watching. And I appreciate you guys staying to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can get more story times, more vlogs, more advice, all that on this page. Bye, y'all.